Remember when 17-year-old Messi scored that goal against Getafe? Or when teenage Ronaldinho first did the Elastico? Every generation has its prodigies. The 90s had R9 and Ronaldinho. The 2000s gave us Messi and CR7. The 2010s brought Mbappe and Haaland. Now the 2020s Wonderkids are here, and they are not just following in those footsteps, they are creating new paths. Stick around as we unfold why clubs are willing to pay record fees for teenagers, and why these names will dominate the next decade. Starting off with a player who was given the nickname Messinho. Chelsea pulled off the biggest heist in Brazilian football history, and no one's even talking about it. Estevão Willian moves like Messi, thinks like Kaká, and plays like he was born with the ball tied to his feet. As a kid who grew up in Franca, Estevão never had any academy training, but at the age of 5, he was already playing in leagues meant for 7-year-olds, and embarrassing kids twice his size. It's rare for a player who recently turned 17 to become a regular starter for the Brazilian league's defending champions in both domestic league and the Copa Libertadores. It's even rarer to earn high praise from Palmeiras' manager Abdel Ferrari. According to him, Estevão is different from anything I've ever seen in football. He knows how to attack, defend, take the game on, and dribble. At 10, the biggest clubs in Brazil were at war for this Wonderkid signature. Cruzeiro won, then lost him in court, after they were caught in a scandal that nearly had his dad in prison. But Palmeiras took over, and the rest is history. By 12, Nike made him their youngest Brazilian signing ever. By 16, he was smashing Neymar's records, scoring 10 goals and 8 assists to break the 16-goal contribution for the Brazilian legend. At just 17, Estevão already has a catalogue of goals that screams world class. Hat-tricks in finals, free kicks from 40 yards, solo goals that felt like 2011 Neymar. He's the youngest MVP in the league's history, even earned his first national team call-up that same year. And now, he's heading to Chelsea for £29 million. But before packing his bags, he faced Chelsea in the Club World Cup and dropped a final screamer just to let the Premier League know what's coming, and I'm sure they got the message. But while Chelsea were busy snapping up a wonderkid from Brazil, they somehow let one slip through their fingers and he headed straight to Anfield. The name's still unfamiliar to most, but that won't last long, because it just took 25 minutes against Yokohama FC for the world to realize this kid isn't your average teenage sensation. Rio Ngamoa is a 16-year-old who plays like he's allergic to pressure. He's also a smooth, sharp, and almost untouchable winger. The kind of winger who doesn't just go past defenders, he makes you question if you ever knew how to defend at all. Just take a look at this kid. You didn't hear much about Rio because when he was at Chelsea, they never wanted you to. He was their secret weapon for the under-18 team, a ghost in the system. If you happened to catch a youth game, you saw it. If not, you missed the show. But Liverpool came knocking, and this time, Rio had to make a choice. In a move that stunned even Chelsea fans, Rio turned down a future in blue and joined the red half of Merseyside, because he was drawn in by Arne Slot's vision and the promise of something more than just bench time, which would have been the case at Chelsea with the number of wingers they have. But what makes Rio really special isn't just his footwork, it's his IQ, his awareness and maturity when he plays. He sees the game before it happens, creates something from nothing, and when he strikes, it's not just instinct, it's intentional. He plays with patience, with precision. He doesn't chase the game. He waits for it, then punishes you. And if Liverpool's track record with young talent is anything to go by, Chelsea might have just handed them their next star. But Rio isn't the only star making headlines this year, because thousands of miles away, Argentina might be hiding something even scarier. Thankfully, Real Madrid already exposed it. Born in the province of Buenos Aires on August 14, 2007, Franco Mastantuono is an Argentinian footballer who is also a left-footed player like his idol, Messi. Mastantuono actually pursued tennis at a young age and became a nationally recognized junior player. However, at the age of 11, he committed to football and joined Cimento Armado FC. 2 years later, he accepted an offer to join River Plate to pursue his career at the club's academy. And on January 28, 2024, and at the age of 16, he made his first team debut against Argentinos juniors. Since then, he has become a prominent figure at the club, becoming the youngest player to debut, score, and win a title with River Plate. If Mastantuono is to be defined as a winger, he is a complete player who excels in ball control, one-on-one duels, and possesses the physical and tactical qualities needed to be effective in the final third. He often drops into midfield to receive the ball before beginning his run down the wing, typically cutting inside to connect with teammates through quick combinations, playing final passes, or attempting shots from distance. Tight turns in small spaces, smooth glides through midfield traffic, and that left foot. It's like a painter with a brush. He's played all across the front line, right wing, inside channel, false nine, and even central midfield. Wherever River needs him, he adapts. But beyond his skills, what defines him is his leadership abilities. He makes smart decisions at the right moment and has the ability to create something out of nothing. That's what Real Madrid has fallen in love with. And now, Real Madrid have signed him for 45 million euros. Yeah, the same Madrid that stole Vinicius, Rodrigo, Endrick. They pulled off another one, and this might just be the most complete yet. And sure, comparisons with Lamine Yamal are coming. Two left-footed, right-sided teenage anomalies now split between El Clasico clubs. And whether Franco lives up to the hype or not, one thing is clear. We're about to watch this rivalry grow up in real time. While everyone's talking about attacking Wonderkids, there's a 19-year-old quietly doing something even more impressive, leading grown men into battle as the youngest captain in Ajax history. Unlike most of the players mentioned in this video, this centre-back isn't flashy. He's not a viral highlight machine. He's something rarer, a teenage defender with the calm of a veteran and the brain of a playmaker. At just 17, Yorel Hato became Ajax's youngest captain in over a century, and now he's headed to Chelsea, a club rebuilding its identity through a core of young talents, and they might have just signed the perfect cornerstone. Hato is a left-footed defender who is both versatile and intuitive under pressure. He is equally confident as a centre-back or bombing up the left flank, and could possibly become the replacement for Cucurella long-term. The best way to truly define just how Hato plays is to think of Lisandro Martinez's aggression mixed with Nuno Mendes' speed and just a little bit of Thiago Silva's IQ. Ajax didn't just give him the armband because of talent, they gave it to him because of how he carries himself. Positionally disciplined, vocal, always reading the pitch 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. Last season, he played over 3,000 minutes across Eredivisie and the European competition. But part of the reason Hato has been able to adapt to men's football seamlessly is because of his impressive physical traits. He is a well-built, athletic player who is quick and strong. Hato possesses excellent recovery speed and has the stamina to maintain high levels of intensity for 90 minutes and cover ground effectively. Chelsea knows what they're getting, and for once, just understand that they have signed someone not just for the future, but as a future captain as well. When it comes to Wonderkids, La Masia has a pool of talent where they always draw up their own, but this time they went all the way to Copenhagen for their next big thing. While Madrid and Chelsea are picking up youths with poise and fame, Barcelona chose a 19-year-old who plays like chaos bottled into an ice-cold finisher. Born in Kuwait to Syrian parents and raised in Sweden, this guy has already shaped the world in 84 senior games for Copenhagen. He made his debut at 16 years and 6 days, becoming Copenhagen's youngest ever player, and in that debut week, scored from outside the box to become the Danish Superliga's youngest ever goalscorer. For Rooney Bardghji, the spotlight has been a constant companion. It became too big to ignore when he faced off against Manchester United in November 2023 during the Champions League group stage. That was when he truly announced himself. Copenhagen were already on course to take a draw point from the mighty Manchester United, with the scores locked at 3-3 as the clock ticked down towards the 90th minute at the Parken Stadium. But Bardghji had other ideas. After Harry Maguire and his company failed to deal with an outswinging cross, the Swede pounced on the loose ball and expertly lashed a shot into the turf that looped into the back of the net. But it wasn't just that goal that showed us this kid was truly special. It was the impact he had on the pitch in fewer minutes as an 18-year-old at the time. That game propelled him into the limelight, but it wasn't even his first big game late show of the season. With his team down 2-1 in the Copenhagen derby against city rivals Brøndby back in September of 2023, Bardghji was afforded just 11 minutes to make a difference off the bench, and the full-time score 3-2 to Copenhagen, courtesy of a 5-minute brace from their rising star. If you thought Rooney Bardghji was cold with it, wait till you meet the kid they call El Diablito, which has gotten Pep Guardiola clearing his Man City squad for him. I know I said Argentina had a scary kid in Franco Mastantuono, but it turns out Man City's Claudio Echeverri exists, and he might just be even scarier. Echeverri's nickname in Argentina is El Diablito, which translates to the Little Devil. This is because he shares a similar name and playing style with the Bolivian icon Marco Echeverri, who was known as Il Diablo. Now, if you don't know Marco, then the nickname alone should give you an idea of just how dangerous this new Man City kid is. Echeverri didn't grow up in privilege. He grew up playing on dirt fields, barefoot, fast and fearless, and by the time he was 11, River Plate came calling, and he's been terrorizing defenders ever since. The kid became a viral sensation, playing at the 7-a-side Venice Champions Trophy against some of Europe's biggest teams. His 9 goals in 6 games, including 4 against Juventus, set him apart from such an early age. Then the whole world took notice in December 2023 at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup quarterfinal versus Brazil, one of football's fiercest rivalries, and this 17-year-old kid scored a hat-trick. What's more is that he scored with almost every part of him. Left foot, right foot, Brazil didn't know what hit them. When the final whistle blew, clubs across Europe knew the name, and one move came fast. Manchester City, €25 million, locked in by January 2024. This year, he's going to walk into Guardiola's system that turned a skinny Phil Foden into a Premier League weapon, that reinvented midfielders into generational engines. Just imagine what happens when Pep gets his hands on Il Diablito. But while Zaire-Emery is still lighting it up from a distance, there's one kid who's already running with the elites. Okay, he doesn't look like a teenager, but I guess that's understandable because he doesn't play like one either. This man in a teenager's body has already made the Paris Saint-Germain midfield his home. At just 18, Warren Zaire-Emery has started for PSG in the Champions League knockout rounds, scored in Ligue 1, the UCL, and for France, and was one of Didier Deschamps' youngest ever call-ups to the national team since Désiré Doué. Born in Montreuil, France, Warren joined PSG's academy at 8 years old, and by 16, he became the youngest player in PSG history to feature in a senior match. He wasn't just making cameos either, he was starting next to Marco Verratti, outplaying veterans and covering every blade of grass like it was his. His style of play is just like Yaya Touré's strength, blended with Thiago Motta's intelligence and a touch of Jude Bellingham's swagger. He is a deep-lying playmaker when needed, a box-crashing destroyer when it's time, and most importantly, he's never overwhelmed. There's no doubt that it's not every wonder kid that truly lives up to their potential, but these kids are truly special, and the world needs to watch out for them. And if you want to know what's really coming next season, click our next video to find out the scary plan top coaches are already cooking for 2026.